Today's video, I'm going to show you what you should do when you are down on the ult economy. And for those who don't know, ult economy is essentially how many ultimates each team has built up over time. There's going to be times when you're playing that your team has to use more ultimates in order to win a team fight than the other team has to. And that means that when the other team comes back, they have the greater ult economy advantage. And in this game here, you can see up in the top right that my team only has one Spidey ult compared to the 4 ultimates essentially built up on the enemy team. When you are in this position, you want to do one of two things. First, you need to try and get a kill in order to buy your team time in order to build up more ultimates. Or second, you need to get them to use their ultimates, preferably in a bad way in which you can kite out of them. And one of the best ways to do that is to get them to use their ultimates away from the objective. In this moment, with the enemy team having 4 ultimates to our 1, the last thing I want to do is take a fight directly on the convoy. Because if my tanks have to both defend the convoy and keep it from moving and also fight inside enemy ultimates, we're probably not going to be able to survive long enough to keep control over the objective. In this game, I'm duo right now with Hershey on Spidey, and I know the enemy team still has their invis ult for sure. So I tell Hershey I need him to use his ultimate to get in there and get Invis Woman to blow her ultimate away from the convoy. Because like I said before, if she's able to use her ultimate closer to the convoy, we're not going to be able to hold down the convoy and survive at the same time. And what I want the enemy team to do is I want to bait them into a bad engage, so that way they have to use ultimates just to close that gap towards the convoy. So that being said, we'll jump into it.
I'll patch you up.
Hi, that feels good.
You cannot hurt me. I feel like myself again. That is much better.
You get a web and you get
Disappear!
You're ready for it.
You can see there, Hershey went in on Spidey and ulted the backline and forced Invis to pop her ult far away from the convoy. They were able to get the kill on Hershey, but at the same time, with how much distance they still need to travel to get to the convoy and how quickly Spidey can get back, it's not such a bad trade. This trade is ultimately in our favor. After Invis Woman ulted, Starlord felt the need to make a play, so he ulted right afterwards, which led to a bad exchange. Because he rushed to make a play, we were able to pick him off, and now it's 5-5, and that's 1 ult to their 2. And they still haven't even touched the convoy yet.
Fucking helpful. You're welcome. Never miss. The keyholes are more dangerous if there's more than one.
After Starlord dies, Emma then feels the need to try and make a play and uses her ultimate, and we're able to just kite away from it. But because of the fact that we made them use their ultimates in order to get access to the convoy, we're able to give up some of that space temporarily and let them have that space and just kite away from it safely. The more time of theirs that we waste, the more time we get to build up our own ultimates. And after Emma ulted, Hawkeye ulted as well, ultimately not really getting any value either.
My vigor restored!
I'll patch you
Can
up.
always count on you, Spidey.
some pep in my step.
Team play. That's me. I have become vulnerable. This is real
Only 60
firepower.
seconds left.
All right. Someday.
You're ready for
And just like that, by baiting the enemy into bad fights and kiting backwards, we allowed ourselves enough time to build up ultimates in order to flip the fight. I know it's tempting that when the enemy team ultimates to feel the need like you have to fight, but sometimes you don't have to. Ultimates get value if they're able to help their team secure picks. And sometimes the best answer to an ultimate is just to back away from it. If you can back up and give up space temporarily without the enemy team capping the objective, a lot of times that's worth it more than trying to take a direct fight. Just because someone in the enemy team uses their ultimate doesn't mean that you have to engage with it. And if you know the enemy team has an ult advantage, you do not want to take the fight directly onto the objective itself. It's very difficult to defend an objective while down on the ult economy. Another time that you're going to see me do this is lots of times on a domination maps when we have control over the objective and we push up to a choke point to try and deny the enemy space. I will do my best on any roll to try and force the enemy to use their ultimates at that choke point rather than on the point itself. Understanding the ult economy in this game and how to control it will help you win a lot more games. Because there are times where sometimes it's okay to lose a fight and sometimes it's the best decision that you can make. Because there are times where I will go in and intentionally lose a fight just to get the enemy to use a lot more of their ultimates so that way we come back with a greater advantage. At the same time though, just because you're behind in the ult economy doesn't mean it's not possible to win the next fight. It just means that you can't brute force it like you would if you had the advantage. If you're really good at tracking ultimates and you are a really good shot caller, this is a huge advantage for you. I don't even know necessarily if my team understood what I was doing, but when I told Hershey to use his ultimate to pull out Invis Woman ult, it set off a domino effect that forced all of those bad exchanges by the enemy. And all it took was one simple shot call. This is how you're going to win a lot more games, by understanding the simple domino effect that happens after each action. Rivals and all hero shooters are not just about who can aim better, it's also about planning ahead and thinking of these types of things. So hopefully this video has given you some insight into the ult economy and what to do when you're behind. Anyway, that's all I got. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.